Oh, you know what? I sent out that other post. I wonder if everyone's going to the thing that's not there. You're still not getting anything, right?
No,
But it might take a second too.
right. Yeah, we're live.
We are live. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo! All right. So maybe people are there. We don't see anybody up there yet, but let's see what's happening here.
Yeah.
If there are people watching, and oh, you know why? Because you haven't clicked that. Go ahead and click it,
Wait.
and then see if you can open it up so you can read the comments.
Okay.
Look, we got 5 people. Hey.
All right.
Of you 5 people, 10 people there that are there. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties. This is the first time, apparently, when you go and launch YouTube live stream, just so you know, it defaults to private or unlisted. So that's why we were having the problem. But anyway, it looks like you guys are here. So I'm Tim. This is TimBatSea, and this is Captain John, and we are in beautiful Aguadilla. No, we're not in Aguadilla. We're in Guayanilla, Puerto Rico. I'm all flustered because we had technical issues here. So, anyway, so thank you. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to our first live stream. This is a really fun thing for me. You know, if somebody could write in the comments or give us a thumbs up or something in the comments if you can hear me. Are you guys hearing me? We should really verify that before we do anything else. Are you able to see the comments over here?
Yeah, we've got.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Does anybody say anything about the sound? Sounds good, right?
Yeah, somebody said sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I guess we're working. All right, good.
Loud and clear.
All right, all right, good deal. All right, so those of you that are familiar with the channel know that there's boats usually have 2 crews. The Navy has a gold crew and a blue crew, I think, or something like that. There's gold and silver. I don't know. Anyway, around here we have, or this company, there's so many boats, you can't have crew change for the whole fleet all on the same day. So they actually have 4 fleets. So there's an A-B fleet and a C and D fleet. And John and I are on the A-B side, and he's on the A crew, and I'm on the B crew. He thinks it's the A crew because he's like the A team. I keep telling him I'm on the B crew because, you know, TimBatSea.
There you go.
Does that work?
That works.
All right. So anyway, why are we together? As things happen, you know, life goes on. This isn't 17th century square rigging, you know, dry tack or whatever. We don't have to do that. John's mate had to be away, and it gave an opportunity for me to come down. I was like working with you, John, so I came down, and tomorrow I will go back to Paquita and continue my adventures there. But anyway, we're here, so that's why the 2 of us are together, and that's why Captain John is here and I'm over here. In this capacity, I'm working as his mate. And it was really John's got a bunch of things happening going on in his own life, and he is a marvel to me. I've often said that I've often thought that I'm one of the few people to finally make it through the hawse pipe. I've talked about this before, but those that aren't with us might remember that the hawse pipe there's 2 ways to get to a level of command in this industry. You can go to a maritime college and do it in 2 or 4 years, depending on which program you do and how big a license you want and that sort of stuff. Or you can start the old-fashioned way at the bottom and slowly work your way to the top. And there's a whole bunch of different things. People saying, oh, this is better or that's better or whatever. Well, whatever it is, most of those people that are making those arguments are usually on the side that they chose. So, and in John's case and in my case, we both are hawse pipers. And John, I don't know, you can please weigh in here, but I'm thinking that I certainly have the utmost respect for people that went through the maritime colleges. And in fact, if I had a chance to do it all over again, that's the way I would go.
Absolutely.
My father often says that I've climbed the ladder and hit my head on every rung going up. Right. I think it's cheaper and probably faster if we just went to college, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different benefits to both. You know, we always kind of make fun of each other and things like that, but you know, both are great. Honestly, they've got their positives and negatives, and yeah, I mean, if I would have gone to the academy, I could have done a lot more travel,
Right.
and you know, done a lot of world travel and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the way that I went, you know,
Well,
not disappointed at all.
the
So,
way that you went is exactly why I wanted to bring you on here today, because he's amazing. Not only is he a great captain and a great boat handler, his crew loves him, and he does a great job for the company. But he's also, I hope you don't mind me saying this to the public, but he's 30 years old. And that's amazing. He could be my kid. To think that somebody at 30 years old could start and just through hard work and focused on the task could rise to where it took me more than half a century to get to. God bless you, man. That is awesome. I just think that is so cool that it can still be done. And just so we know, I've talked in the past about how a lot of people come into this industry and a lot of people go, that sometimes it's a good fit for people, sometimes it's not a good fit for people. I think that our path through, whether we go into the engine room or the wheelhouse, that really is determined on the person how much they want to work too.
Right.
If you want to do the minimum to continue your job, you can probably do that and have a good career, but you probably won't advance.
Right.
But if you do a little extra and you keep trying to, studying on your time off and advancing your license and that sort of stuff, yeah, with somebody like him at 30 years old who is, on par, if not beyond me. He actually has, I shouldn't say this too loud, the scope of his license is actually bigger than mine. but anyway, so I think that's awesome. I've told all of these guys about that, but I'm wondering if you could tell us in your own words, because I know your history since you've been to this company and came up, but I don't know how you made the jump from basically a kid until now you're a captain. Can you
Sure.
kind of walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. I started out like most people, just graduated high school, and I didn't have any family in the industry. I didn't really know anybody in the industry, so I never had any plans of doing this in high school. And really, I didn't know at all what I wanted to do coming out of high school, and so I went to college for a year, and I gave that a try, and it wasn't really for me. But I always knew that I loved being on the water, and wanted to work on the water and things like that. So anyway, I got started at working at marinas.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just got started working at marinas as a dockhand.
Yeah.
And then I worked for a boat club also. And between a couple different people at the boat club, we had. One guy was ex-Coast Guard, and he helped me out a lot in going to get my first license.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no way. So he.
Yeah.
Now, can I stop you here for just for a second, John?
Yeah.
For those that don't understand, the license, or it might more encompass when we call it our credential, because our license is like a passport with 1,000 different things in it. It's not just like your driver's license.
Right.
And because of that, we can't. You don't just go to the DMV and get this thing renewed. There's a whole process, and it's very daunting. And we were going to talk about this later, but this kind of flows into it. You have a new thing coming out that you've just launched. I'm really gonna tap the brakes. Crazy Tim is going to take this thing right off the rails here. So in our industry, we're blessed. If you are a fit for this and you like this kind of work, we're blessed that it's a job that does well and it pays well, and we're all happy with that. But I think that, forgetting about the money, I really think that the most addictive thing in this industry is the time off. We have 6 months off a year, and I don't know a lot of other. I guess there's some airline pilots that have that too, but I don't know of a lot of places that have that. Well, the problem with that is that when you have a lot of time off, though, some people use the time effectively and some people don't.
Right.
We've all had friends that have crawled into a rum bottle and we've never seen them again, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there are other people that have used the time creatively and to help themselves. I'm learning how to sail right now. I started this YouTube channel, and this is something that I've really enjoyed. But I just found out working with you this week, that you've been setting up for quite a while now, a process, and I want you to talk about it, but I just want to tell everyone why there's a need for this. So I've been doing this. I'm on almost my 6th issue of getting my license renewed, and John and I are polar opposites. He has organizational skills. John, I'm going to talk to these guys so that you won't feel embarrassed for me saying wonderful things about you.
Oh yeah, I got
But
you.
he has organizational skills that I would kill to be that organized, and I'm not that guy. I also don't have the mind to be able to read what they call CFRs, which are the Code of Federal Regulations.
Right.
And these things called NAVTECs. So in our industry, things change every day. New laws go into effect. And like I say, even though my license is good for 5 years, things happen every year where, you have to do this year, but next year you don't have to. And then the next year you have to do this. And every time you go to get your stuff together, and it's smart that you don't put everything together so you don't have every 5 years you have a panic attack. You do a little bit every time. Anyway, I've been doing this for a long time, and I think a lot of this white hair doesn't come from docking barges. It comes from getting my license together. So please tell us about your new endeavor.
Sure. So, like I was saying, I just started out at marinas, and my first license was a 100-ton license, and just went to sea school, started out doing that, and I always did my own applications, and I came into just a lot of trouble, frustration, confusion, and just overall difficulty dealing with the different processes and things like that. So what I've always tried to do is try to find the easiest way to get things done, and to figure out the truth in all the different processes,
Sure.
the application processes, the regulations, and everything. And so what I've been doing over the past few months is I've been researching all the different regulations with the CFRs, the NAVICs, and all that kind of thing. And I'm going to be offering a basically application service, preparing mariner applications for people. So
this is a godsend for those of us in the industry. And you're doing it for all levels, right? From the entry even to somebody who's been in it for a long time?
we are, yeah. We're doing entry level, all renewals and upgrades, original captain's license, and a number of different other needs for applications and other mariner needs.
Now, will you be helping people because you have devoted so much of your time and energy into reading the NAVTECs and the CFRs and all this sort of stuff?
Right.
Will you be helping? If I wanted to change the scope of my license and do something else, it's not as easy as me just taking a test. I can't even sit for the test unless I have X, Y, and Z all taken care of. But X, Y, and Z change, and everybody on every boat is an expert, and they all tell you different things.
Right.
So would that be a service that you offer too, that you would help me to prepare? You would say, Tim, before you go to get this, you're going to need to get this.
Absolutely. What you get when you use a maritime consultant, and what we offer is we offer the knowledge of knowing what exactly you need to put together. And it's not only that, but it's also the attention to detail in the application process. Any little error in the application process, whether it be typos or things that are missed or anything like that, they can cause serious delays.
Without a
weeks and months.
And for
of
mariners,
lost time.
we all know people that have missed a hitch, and sometimes even 2 or 3 hitches, because there's been one thing. They're bureaucrats. All of the National Maritime, here's a good fact for all you guys. The National Maritime Center in the United States is located in the seafaring state of West Virginia.
Right.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Anyway, so look, now having said that, there's 2 things I can say that they got going for them. When they first started out, it was a disaster. They're much better now, and that's good. But the other thing that I wanted to say for the Coast Guard is that with the difficulties that we all have when I say the difficulties that we have with the Coast Guard are great people, and hopefully we'll never need them, but if we need them, they have to go, they don't have to come back, all that sort of story. Right. But the thing about the Coast Guard that I do like, and especially, I don't know if you found this to be the case, but in me testing, there used to be the old way of testing where they would the Freedom of Information Act gave all the questions that were possible, 960 some questions or something, and people would memorize the answers. And the new way of teaching is that, look, they explain what the intent of the law was, and that you ought to be able to figure it out. And as far as a dyslexic like me, that makes perfect. It's one of the only tests that I do relatively well at. Is I understand what the Coast Guard is trying to do, and when they ask the silly questions, you say, well, this applies or this doesn't apply. Would you agree with that?
Right, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, one of the things that one of my goals is to introduce more people to the maritime industry and allow them, yeah, just like yourself, and allow them a better way to access the maritime industry. So for people like myself, you know, I grew up and I didn't have any experience in the industry. I didn't even know that this was what I wanted to do.
Right.
But what we're going to offer is we're going to walk you through the whole entire process from start to finish. It basically starts with, you know, your TWIC card is your first initial step, and then it goes from there onto the medical certificate, and then all the different requirements that you need, no matter what credential you're going for your first credential. So for somebody who you know, is not familiar with the process, we're going to walk you through the whole process and make it easy for you. And that's you know, what we're offering.
I know that's going to be a big help for a lot of us that have been in the industry. And there was a guy that some of us used years ago, and he's not doing it anymore. And I think that that's opened up a thing that I really hope this takes off for you. And if you guys are seeing this and you don't know John, I can tell you he's a top shelf guy. He's awesome. And I wish you the most success in this adventure. I think you're gonna be fine in it. I think it's gonna be awesome. Hey, look at this! Something just popped up here. Look at this, Chesapeake Keith, dude. He just sent us a little donation.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Which one of you left the winch running?
Who wrote that? Yeah. So look, we've talked. One more thing before we go to your Q&A. So I have a. I had merch, and we used to sell a lot of it, and it was really easy, and it worked really well. And then it turned out that after you washed the clothes a few times, all the stuff would go away. We had real quality issues. YouTube ended up getting rid of that company. The company we have now, they say they're better. This is something that's a new thing. If you, depending on where you live, you might be able to get merch. Apparently here in Puerto Rico, it's not an option, but it should be down. Oh, that's just what's popping up. I get you. And anyway, so look, if you want merch, there's some there. If you have trouble finding it, send me a notice and I'll go look for it. I'll send you a link or whatever, and you can always reach me at TimBatSea@gmail.com. And so what we got going in the questions? You see anybody in there that we should need to talk to? I apologize to you guys that have been writing while we've been talking, but anyway.
We should probably check our audio real quick. A couple people were saying that the audio was causing trouble, and some other people were saying that it's not causing trouble. Okay, so we can't hear it because we're doing this. Are you guys able to hear us okay or not? Maybe you can write in the comments. Somebody says it sounds good or doesn't. If it sounds bad, I don't know what to do. Sounding good.
All right. Well, if it sounded bad enough that if it sounded good enough for you to hear that it sounded, that's about as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, everybody's saying things are good. As far as some of the comments, let's see.
Find my glasses here.
We've got.
Audio is great. Audio is great.
We're probably looking for some more questions.
All right.
If anybody wants to go ahead with some.
Your lady is here. Is that?
I believe so.
Wow. I give you a little inside scoop. This is something that John and I laugh about. And that's that. I was just telling him that I started this channel after I got divorced, thinking I'd meet chicks. I got 45,000 dudes. I can't catch a break. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, write them off to John, and John and I will talk about them here because I can't talk and read at the same time.
We've got a couple people asking how Puerto Rico is after Fiona.
That's a great question. And you know what? You gotta remember this from our perspective. We're on the water, but we deal with the Puerto Ricans all the time, and we see stuff. I also crew change right in the middle of all this stuff.
Right.
I've been in Puerto Rico for a long time. My grandmother came down here almost 30 years ago, and I can tell you that hurricane or no hurricane, there are always things that are classically Puerto Rican, and the Puerto Rican people just deal with that, and they're used to it. So in other words, power goes out, the water goes out. That was happening long before there was a hurricane. There's been a big thing that's close to my heart, and I talked about it with Sal, my buddy Sal over at What's Going On in Shipping, another YouTube channel, and he's done an awesome job documenting this. But there's been a big thing about the lack of diesel fuel on the island and the need to lift the Jones Act, and that's hasn't been. I have not noticed that, and what I mean by that is I'm not driving around the island. I go from one port and pick up over 2 million, or John, we go to one port and we pick up over 2 million gallons of diesel fuel and bring it to another port. And the last place we went, we couldn't even get rid of it all. They had to send us back with some because they were totally full. So I think that Puerto Rico does have, I mean, if you have a diesel truck and you're in the middle of the island, you might not be able to get diesel right now. Right. But I don't think that has anything to do with the Jones Act. I don't think it has anything to do with shipping. What I think that has to do with, and incidentally, you should also know too that the people saying that there's 40% of the island's without electricity and they need diesel. Both of those may or may not be true, but they're not connected at all. The power plants have all the diesel they need right now. That's not an issue. Yeah. The issue is that one of the big distribution hubs where the big trailer trucks would load up with fuel and go to the gas stations, they were part of the power outage, and it's not because there isn't generations, because the lines are down, so they couldn't pump it into the trucks couldn't get to the gas stations, and the people in the middle of the island are saying there's no diesel here. But other than that, I would say on a scale of 10 being regular Puerto Rico and 0 being the end of the world, I would say Puerto Rico is probably about an 8 or a 9. Restaurants are open, people are moving, you see cars running up, we see things happening, and the Boricua, you guys are great. They're resilient people and nothing gets them down, and if you haven't visited Puerto Rico, do not let a little thing like a hurricane bother you. These are the greatest people on the planet. I've been doing this for a long time. I mean, I've been coming to Puerto Rico.
Sure.
You've been coming here for about a year now, right?
Yes.
How have you found the Boricua?
Everything here has been great. We've really met a lot of great people here working on this contract. I have nothing but good things to say about everybody that we met here.
They really are great people, aren't they?
It's been a great place to work. It's been challenging, and we've had to, or at least myself, I've had to learn a lot of new skills getting in and out of these ports.
Sure.
It all relates to what we're used to on the East Coast, but just everything, the way that things are done, it's been different. So it's been challenging. It's been great, and everybody that we've worked with has been awesome. So I mean, I love working here, and we've had a busy trip so far this hitch, and looks like we're gonna continue to be busy throughout many of the different ports here. So
good deal. Yep. Now, we got any other questions?
We do. Let's see. I'm trying to pick out some good ones to kind of move on to a different topic.
Sure.
Yeah. Make sure.
And while he's doing that, let me tell you guys, if you're wondering why we're doing this, they're loading the barge right now, and so there's not a whole lot for us to do right here. So we're keeping an eye on things, listening to the radio in case anything goes off. But we're here, and so it's not like we're derelict of duty.
Right. Somebody was asking how the weather in the Atlantic has been these days off the north side of the island. Lately, in the past couple of days, it's been great. I mean, 2 to 3 at the most, 10 to 15 knot winds. So I mean, beautiful.
But yeah, without a doubt. Since I came back, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
And I think I think the way I understand that is that when these systems go through, they suck a lot of the energy out of all the systems, and that's the calm before the storm, and then usually when the storm goes by, everything mellows out.
Right.
One thing that's really interesting, and I'm sure you've seen this too, but when I came, I came in on Monday, and the island got hit on Sunday night,
Right.
or Saturday night and Sunday, and so I came in behind it, and I came into San Juan, and usually the current goes from east to west with the wind,
Right.
and so I came around the corner, and I have to get at the pilot station at a certain time, and I usually make around 4.5 to 6.5 knots, depending on what the current is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hooked up, and I can't do more than 2.5 knots. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
And then when the pilot came on, the pilot's like, dude, there's a huge set. There's a huge set to the east. It's going from west to east. We don't know why. It says it happens every once in a while when there's a storm, but we've never seen it like this before. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, I'd agree that after the storms, things got pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Dalton's asking who your favorite deckhand is.
Oh, Dalton, I can't believe you're watching this. For those of you that have watched my New York videos, Dalton is that crazy idiot that I love having on deck with me that would steal my camera and post the most funny things. Anyway, Dalton, all I can tell you is that you missed the boat. Quite literally. You would do very well down here, Dalton. That's all I can say.
Yeah. We've got some other people asking, where do you stay when you're between work periods?
Like the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a good question. We don't. And look, I don't know the exact answer. I'm going to say what I say, but if you feel, please jump in and correct me if you have a better. He's been actually down here longer than I have, but we don't normally. We have, whether it be New York or Baltimore or Philadelphia or Tampa or wherever we are, we usually have our office has ports, and they have a port engineer there, and we have supplies there, and we can go and get fuel and get lubes and do all of our stuff that we need to do there. We don't have any of that. We're on our own here. And so because of that, we don't even have a dock that we can tie up to. The only times we tie up to docks is when we're either loading or discharging product.
Right.
So and because of the lack of a bunch of anchorages, for those of you that don't know, the second deepest place in all the oceans in the world is in the Puerto Rican Trench, just north of the island here, it's deeper than Everest is high. Second only to the Marianas Trench in the Pacific. Anyway, it's really deep around here, so it's really hard to find a good place to anchor. Fortunately, we have one spot here on the south. I guess you could almost say it's not quite in the middle, more southwest part of the island, just west of Ponce, and it's called Guayanilla, and that's where we are right now. We're actually at the dock, but there's an anchorage here, and when we're in between jobs, that's where we go. Yep. Would you agree with all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Good.
Always a good variety of ports here, that's for sure. There was somebody asking about, he had mentioned a 25-ton Ray Kelly. Was time on boats back then. I started with 25 and went to 50. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that my first license was 100-ton, and actually that was not exactly accurate. I said that because I didn't know if most people would really understand the differences between the licenses, but yeah, to Ray, my first license was a 25-ton, and that started out with my time working at the boat club.
Now, you would know this for sure, but I'm under the impression that a 25 and 100-ton license is the exact same test. It's only a matter of sea time, right?
It is.
Meaning that you need sea time. If you were getting sea time on a vessel of half, is it 1.5 or something like that? To get sea time, so in other words, if you have sea time on a vessel that might be 5 tons,
right,
they'll give you a 25-ton license.
Yes, yeah. Basically, the way that it works is for your first initial captain's license, There are several different levels. There's what's called a OUPV or a six-pack license, and six-pack meaning you're limited to 6 passengers. So
Not the 6-pack I like.
So operator of uninspected passenger vessels.
Yeah.
So that's going to be mainly your charter fishing guys, or also your smaller boats and things like that. That's a great way to get your foot in the door and get your first captain's license for those kind of needs. And then there's also the master's license, which also allows you to run basically any type of vessel within your tonnage range.
Good.
So you've got a 25, 50, and 100 ton. So you basically get issued your license based on experience on vessels.
Right. So
So
if you started out on a vessel that was 99 tons, you're going to take the same test as the guy who started on who had a 5-ton boat, but he's going to get a 25 and you're going to get a 100-ton, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Cool. So it's all the same captain's course. In order to get started doing that, typically a 2-week course, and those kind of courses you can actually do the testing. The Coast Guard approves for you to do the testing at the same facility that you're using to do your coursework. So
cool.
Anyway,
what else we got?
So we got, let's see. I wasn't scrolling down here. I suppose the smaller vessels over her for fishing days. All right, so
I go.
Okay, so somebody's asking, I think, about off time, meaning the 3 weeks off.
Oh.
So,
like what do we do?
Tim, right. Yeah. Tim was mentioning earlier. That's one of the greatest things about the industry is that we've got that luxury that we can have that amount of time off.
I was saying, John, he recently got married, and I said, what industry can a 30-year-old person have the ways and means, meaning that you make enough money and everything's cool, to get your wife, and he can literally travel around the world for 3 weeks at a time every other 3 weeks? That's freaking amazing. So why and look, I'm not trying to recruit people, but I am trying to say this is a great industry. Years ago, the drunken sailor, all that sort of stuff, I really wish that was the case, but we're not allowed to do it. Everything's cleaned up here, and it's a great industry. And why there aren't people? Well, it's funny. I don't know if this is something that we should be talking about or not, but I don't think I've ever broached this subject before. But I have a lot of friends at home that I've worked with, that I've known for 30 years, and these are hard-working guys that work really hard for about $40,000 to $60,000 a year, and they're working about 60 hours a week. Right. And I plead with them, why don't you come out here? Why don't you come into this line of work? It'll be better for your family. It'll be better for you financially. Everything will be better. And unfortunately, they all know that if they did that, they'd be subject to a drug test all the time. And legalization of marijuana in your different states, those are state things. We're run by the federal government, so it's still illegal for us. And if you want to do this stuff, you can't smoke weed. And I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a good drug addict or something like that. But I can't imagine why people would give up such an awesome potential for an awesome life to get stoned. I don't get it. But anyway, that's that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see.
I'm going to run out the door here and give Jack a break. You keep talking to everyone, all right?
All right. Sounds good. Yep.
So, Jack!
Yeah, the deckhand got busy needle gunning while we're trying to live.
And you can't be mad at him. One of my mantras is that a good deckhand does what he's told. A great deckhand doesn't have to be told. Yeah. Well, Jack's out there. We didn't tell him. He's out there needle gunning. And if you don't know what a needle gun is, it's a compressed air gun with 1,000 little needles in it, and he goes, and it blows up all the
flakes off
all the and very noisy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so where are we at?
Yeah, we're looking for some more questions.
Hey, John and Tim, what's this one?
Yeah.
My name is Eric. I don't know anything about. I can't read this stuff out. I don't know anything about boats. Please explain.
I think Chesapeake Keith's maybe sounds familiar.
Okay. All right.
The last that fingerprinted me for my Coast Guard license, Battery Park, nearly broke my fingers. Nice.
Well, I don't know how long ago that was, but now when we get fingerprinted, they don't even, you know.
Tim, Sean is watching.
All right, we're back.
Okay.
Had some more technical. I guess some of our one of the things about being down here is that you get really good internet, and then it magically goes away. And then I guess that's not just here; that's in a lot of places. But anyway, so you were just saying something right before. Oh yeah, about if we're not at the dock, how do we get supplies? Was a question, right? I don't know who wrote that, but that's a great question. And you know what? I don't even know. It's magic as far as I'm concerned. We send requisitions. I don't know how. I've often wondered, do they put this on airplanes? Because some of the stuff that they send down here is really heavy stuff.
A lot of it is air freight.
Is that? Wow.
Yeah, a lot of our supplies is air freight.
Well, somehow magically they put their stuff there and they get it down to our agent, and then our agent usually knows where it is. And we have different agents for different areas of Puerto Rico and St. Croix that we go to, but they usually know where we are, and they'll set up a driver to pick up stuff and drop it off and that sort of stuff. And this goes for everything that we do, from getting water on the boat. We have a water maker, but sometimes we get water, to trash removal, all that sort of stuff.
Right.
The one thing that might be a little different is that we have to grub up the boat, and that means that we go shopping, and we have to, we got to feed 5 guys for 21 days. And so they usually send a van down. A couple of guys will go to a big box store and get a whole bunch of stuff, and then we load up the fridge and the freezer, and that's how that gets done.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that if we do this for like another 12 minutes or so, that will wrap it up for about an hour. And all of you guys, I wish I could read this fast enough. You guys, and what happens is on the screen that I'm looking at, I'll read something, and then it starts to go away. Dalton is making friends as expected. I have to read stuff real quick because then it disappears on my screen. John's looking at another screen, so he's able to see it a little bit better. But anyway, go ahead.
Somebody was asking if we transport oil to the other islands, and to answer your question,
okay, we're back.
Anyway, we're saying that the company has worked in other places in the Caribbean before. Myself, I've worked in St. Thomas just for a couple trips, but we did have some units there, as well as other islands here in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and you should know that most of this work is contract driven. So we'll get a contract, a certain customer will hire us, and we'll do the work for that customer. It's not like we're a floating oil station that just goes and drops it off to willy-nilly to whoever needs it. Right. So if we have years ago before the pandemic, one of the guys I used to work with came down here and was working had a contract with a cruise people, and they were I think they were in Antigua or something like that, and they just hung out there just because they were just bunkering cruise ships. So it's really driven by the contract. So our contract is here, this is why we do this.
Right.
And when I say our contract is here, our contract is really driven by the power station. So we go to get fuel for the power stations wherever that might be.
Yep. We had one of the viewers asking what is the best meal to make on board. So,
ooh, I got an answer for this.
Yeah, I got a couple of good ones for that.
Yeah, my thing is that I used to love to cook, and as I was a terrible deckhand, and I always say that I made it in the wheelhouse because I was so bad on deck. Probably not exactly true, but I thought it was funny. Anyway, I used to cook all the time because I loved cooking, and it was very fun. Since I've gone to mate and captain, I cook much less. I usually cook Thanksgiving, Christmas, and that sort of stuff. But John cooks almost all the time. Every time that he gets a chance, he cooks. And
Yeah.
oh my God, when he opens John's restaurant, I'm going. He's an amazing cook. So what's your favorite Tugboat meal?
Oh man, I worked on in too many restaurants to ever want to open one up before I did this. But yeah, I mean, we cook a lot of different things on the boat. One thing that came to mind was when we were in the Gulf, we used to be able to get fresh shrimp,
Oh, nice.
so we, cook shrimp 1,000 different ways. Tonight we're going to do fresh homemade pizzas. We've got, the whole, everything, fresh mozzarella, basil and everything, so that's going to be pretty awesome.
There's a
all
reason why.
kinds of different
There's
stuff.
a reason why the Tugboat build looks like this.
That's right. That's right.
I think the Navy has long known that food is a big part of morale, and it certainly is in the merchant Navy as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Let's see. What else we got?
God, I just read it says somebody was saying something about I know John's a good cook, and then the screen went blank.
Yeah, I think we got some of my former shipmates on there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So keep it going with the questions.
Yeah. We got 10 more
looking-
minutes, and then we're out of here. We got to go
I'm
back
looking,
to work.
We're trying to get them answered. Let's see. I'm looking. I'm trying not to miss anything.
Great points about drugs, Tim. I hope you're being funny.
There was another one. Let's see. Do you ever stop at the Port of Palm Beach? I haven't. I've never been to Palm Beach.
I don't think I have either. I've been. I was taking Sugar into. Oh no, Sugar's West Palm Beach, right? Isn't that the port of West Palm Beach?
I wouldn't know. I'm really not
I think
sure.
it's the same thing. If there's a Sugar place there, I was on a Domino's run. Domino, right? Yeah, Domino's Sugar.
Right.
I was bringing sugar from there up to the Hudson River.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was years ago, though. That was back when Christ was a cowboy.
So we got another few good questions. Somebody was asking what the name of my new company is.
You know what I'll do is when we get done with this, I will try. I don't know if I can, but if I can get this and post it again, I'll put a link in his comment. This is the first time I'm doing this. I don't know if I could do that, but if that doesn't happen, you can always write to me and I'll send you his card. He even has he's so techno savvy. He even has a CRQ or QR code. QR code. You scan it and it goes right to his company. So it's really cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, the name of the business is going to be Seaside East Mariner Consultant, and you can find us at seasideeastmarinerconsultant.com. So there's that.
And hopefully a link in the description.
Yep, and we'll try to get you
For
a
people
link.
like me that don't write that fast.
Yeah, we'll get you a link as well. Somebody had a great question. Do either of you have a desire to move to large ships? And that's a good question. Myself, I do not. Typically, the ships work a really, really much longer schedule. So, yeah, I mean, tugboating is perfect for me. 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. The guys on ships are usually working anywhere from 3 months on, 6 months on, 9 months on. So, I mean, that wouldn't be for me. So.
I wanted to give you a chance to answer it yourself, but I am in parity with you on that. Exactly the same way.
Yeah.
No desire to work on ships. The only thing that if I were 25 years old, fresh out of the academy with a third mate's unlimited and no kids and no wife and all that sort of stuff, then the idea of getting on a ship and sailing around the world, even that is a romantic idea. I don't think that you can really, back in the day before the containers, where they used to have the stick boats would go into port and they'd be there for a while and you could have time to go see places and stuff like that. But in today's market, I don't really, I don't even know why. They do whatever they do. That's fine. All I know is that the money isn't that. There's a difference in money, but it's not what you would think it would be. It's pretty close to the same thing, and the time home is just, you still get equal time or better, and I love it on Tugs.
Yeah.
What's next? 5 more minutes.
Absolutely.
5 minutes and counting.
Me too.
5 more minutes in the period.
Let's see. Still looking for some more. I think we've
covered everything.
We've pretty much covered everything. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, that works for me. So, listen, all of you out there, good God, we got 55 of you still hanging with us. It's amazing. Thank you so much to, was it Chesapeake Keith, who donated some money? That was awesome. We thank you so much.
Yep.
This was fun. This is the first of this. Now that we've kind of got it figured out, well, I don't know if we got it figured out, but at least when we first turned it on at noon, it didn't work at all. But we've taken a dry run at this. This is something that I would like to do much more. I'll probably be doing this hopefully at least once a month with my patrons, and maybe some other times with you guys as well. But really like to thank you guys for watching and being with the channel. The channel's been around for a while. I told some of you before that the TimBatSea channel, I might not be able to post every week like I've been doing for years. That it might be every other week or whatever. That there is a new video coming out tomorrow. So, and if you were a patron, you would already be able to see that and have it be advertisement free. But anyway, I plan on keeping the channel going. As much as I want to sail around the world with Crisalita on Paquita, I would love to do that today. Unfortunately, it's still going to be a few more years of working, and so we still have some content to put up there. But if you haven't gone over to SV Paquita, please do come over. I'm really hoping to get that thing going a little bit more than it has been. I've been putting more and more effort into it. You guys are great. There's a few of you that I recognize that have been there since the beginning, and I can't thank you enough for all that. And if Dalton is out there, Dalton, there's a million things I'd like to say to you, but I'm happy just knowing how badly you missed the boat by not coming with me down here. Anyway, John, thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck for your new endeavor, and I definitely will be using it. And who knows? Be sure that if you contact, if anyone needs help, that they contact John. Be sure that you let him know how you found out about him.
Absolutely.
Maybe he'll give me a T-shirt one day. But
Absolutely.
anyway.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me on. It was great to meet the viewers and get to answer some questions and everything. So thanks a bunch.
Good deal. You guys take care. Be safe. And as always, I'll see you on the one. I got to figure out how to shut this thing off.